Hello, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Beer Garden podcast live, and we are going to have a preview for today's meeting at Sha Tin on the 28th of January. We are going to have 10 races at Sha Tin, and the weather right now is still quite cold, but a little bit warmer than the recent day. But the ground is still going to be good as usual. So there will be some big race to watch, which will be in race number 8. It will be the first leg of the Hong Kong Speed Series, which is the Centenary Sprint Cup, a Group 1 over 1200 meters. There's a field of 13 some good sprinters all here to compete with each other at the afternoon at Sha Tin today. And this time in our live today, there will be Joshua, Nathan, and myself talking about our picks and our thoughts for today's Sha Tin meeting. So let us start this time, and because I'm going to talk about race number 2 first. Race number 2, it is a class 5 over 1600 meters. I think number 1, Starship 80 is quite interesting in this field, and this horse is trained by Pierre Ng. So as just a 4-year-old, he already had 10 starts in this season, but the horse always finished close, and he had a back-to-back win in December. He broke the maiden in Hong Kong over 1650 over the all-weather track, and then after that, he still won again over the turf track at Sha Tin. So that was really impressive. So just a 4-year-old, I'm expecting him to keep improving. And in fact, that after the back-to-back win in December, he always finished close in January. So last time, only 4 days ago, it was the all-weather night at Sha Tin, and he was breaking from gate number 11, and it was not a really good draw, not really ideal. So the horse stayed in the midfield and chased quite well in the home stretch. So he went fourth. I think it was not a bad one, only beaten by 1.5 length. And this time, only after 4 days, I think the horse is still fit and strong enough because he is young, and also his weight can keep it at a good level. So this time, moving to the turf track today, I think not a big problem for him because this is also one of his winning distance in late December. So this time, 134 pounds is not a big problem. He's strong enough to handle it, and interesting to see that Lizzie Bedell takes the ride because the other jockey like Cass Teeton, who rode him before, will be on board Eagle Run. But Elizabeth are also quite good jockey for riding some heavyweight horses. So I think Starship 80 always keep his form as a 4-year-old, not really old, still young, and really consistent throughout the whole season. So hopefully he can have another good one at the afternoon today. So I'm going to have number 1, Starship 80 as my banker in race number 2. And for selections, I think number 5, Tremenda is quite interesting. This horse is trained by Jamie Richards, and as a 5-year-old, still a maiden, still nothing from 17 attempts in Hong Kong. However, his rating is already down the bottom to 34. So this time, the weights he will be carrying with just 129. And interesting to see that Zach Burton will be on board again. And recently, when he raced over the Sha Tin over 1400 meters last time out, he booked from a wide draw and stay at the back as usual, and show a really great turn of foot in the home straight. So last time he was only beaten by less than 2 lengths. I think it was not a bad one. And also at that start, Starship 80 ran second. So I think running behind him was not a bad run. So this time, stepping up to 1600 meters, we should be the mile should be a better distance for Shamanda. And also, yeah, right, interesting to have Zach Burton on board for the first time. So hopefully, Zach Burton on board will help this horse to broke the maiden in Hong Kong, because at the current rating of 34, he should be quite competitive in a class 5 company. So number 5, Jamanda, will be included in one of my selections. And for the other one will be number 2, Diamond. He's also not really old, just 4 year old. And I think 1600 meters is should be a better distance for this So You Think gelding. And last time he was down to class 5 for the first time, and he was carrying the top weight and chased really well. So running third, what not say, was quite good. And behind Trinwan Glory and Smart Beauty, both horses are really lightweighted. So Diamond last time out carrying the top weight and still chased well, showing that he should be quite competitive here. And also earlier in the season, he finished not bad in class 4. So as a 4 year old, hopefully he will find himself quite has some ability in class 5. So number 2, Diamond will also be one of my selections. So to recap, in race 2 in this 1600 meters in class 5, I'm going to have number 1, Starship 80 as my banker, with selections number 5, Jamanda, and number 2, Diamond. And let me ask Joshua first. Morning, Joshua. What do you think in race number 2?
Morning, Shireen. Morning, Nathan, and morning to everyone listening. Yes, we're class 5, race number 2, the Shireen Classic. I'm going to start calling it because you love these class 5s, Shireen, and usually
Yeah,
it's race
sometimes.
1, but it's race 2 this week. So, yeah, very interesting race. I thought there was a handful that we could pick and we could still get it wrong, but I landed with number 8, Angels Hunter, a pair of placings to start this season. Beat home, beat hollow. When 0.2 of a length second 2 starts ago, and Beat Hollow has since won well. And last start was good. He just couldn't catch the winner and your top pick, Shireen, Starship 80.
Yeah.
But he does meet at 4 kilos better off here with Chadwick sticking. I think the draw's nice. He's just going to need a little bit of luck. He may end up 3 pairs back the rail. So, but I'm expecting another solid performance by number 8, Angels Hunter. The other one I didn't mind was down the bottom there, number 14, Smart Beauty. He's been racing well enough, with last start being his best run in some time, where he made up 3.5 lengths on the turn to finish half a length off Suwon Glory. So the draw is no issue because he's going to go back anyway, but providing the track plays fair, I'd expect this guy to be hitting the line late. I had Starship 80 in for third and One Heart 1 in for fourth, but yeah, interesting little race early on. I won't be playing myself, but I got number 8, Angels Hunter, and number 14, Smart Beauty as my top 2 in the race.
Yeah, Angel Hunter's number 8 in this field. I think he's quite lightly raced in this season, only having 2 starts here. And good to have Matthew Cherry on board again. And Nathan, morning. How's it going? And what do you think in race number 2?
Yes, good morning to you both. Good morning, listeners. Yes, this race I thought was an absolute nightmare. I thought you could make a case for about 6 or 7 of these, honestly. I like the Shireen handicap. We'll leave it at that because she's still over this one. Look, I will say this. I will say Starship 80, very consistent in this grade. And I think you're getting a fair price to find out at around the $10 mark. You go back through its form. I mean, it's SP'd every start this prep around the $5 or better. And so the fact you're getting double figures, I totally get where you're coming from there, Shireen. I mean, he's very consistent.
Yeah.
He's put 2 wins together in class 5, so he still gets to stay in the grade. So totally get where you're coming from in that regard. Look, I found Diamond on top, but not with a stack of confidence. I just love the gate here, gate 2. That Suwon Glory run last start was very good over the 1,400 metres, gets to the mile. Just his second go in this grade, and I thought he finished off really nicely. It's a lovely run from gate 2, should get every chance. And as you alluded to, Shireen, I think getting to the 1,600 metres for this summer, So You Think, will do a major benefit for his chances. I think he's going well enough. Yet to win in 11 starts, but this was like a very winnable race for him. So Diamond, I thought, was probably my top pick. Didn't mind Charmander as well. He was really, really good last start behind Fireball. Another one that gets to the mile at Sha Tin for the first time. Look, he's, again, another one that's been a little bit inconsistent. And most of his form prior to this campaign was at Happy Valley. But ever since he's gotten to Sha Tin, he's definitely improved. And that last start effort and his trial since both suggest he'll go well. Another one I didn't mind, Angels Hunter, as already alluded to, back-to-back runner-up placings. Easy to tie it into Starship 80, so if you like him, comfortable to put him in as well in terms of the weight swing and also the run in transit from gate 6. You can only imagine he'll run well. And then Smart Beauty, again, I agree. He's just becoming one of those ones that you can't quite find. 19 starts without a win, and he's one of those ones that keeps putting in that eye catcher, and I don't know how many times I can keep following him in. So look, yeah, there's a bunch you can follow out of this run. Diamond's the one I found on top, not with a lot of confidence, but I do think that's the one with potential upside in a race where they're all. It's actually one of the better Class 5s I've seen in a while. So I think again you can make a case for a few, but I've landed with Diamond on top, just with the map and a little bit of progression on his side, perhaps.
Yes, I agree. This class 5 is quite good quality. And yes, the current favorite number 14 down the bottom, Smart Beauty, carrying a very light weight as the same weight as last time. And I think this distance is also suits him, so still can be ruled out quite a good class 5 in race number 2. So let me recap it again. I'm going to have number 1, Starship XT as my banker, with selections number 5, Charmander, and number 2, Diamond. So now let's pass the time to Joshua to talk about race number 4, please.
Yeah, race number 4 is the race I want to highlight this afternoon. It's a 1400 meter class 4. I found this a really, really, I shouldn't say easy race. I don't think it's a very deep race. I landed with my banker as number 5, Celtic Times. Look, been a bridesmaid in 3 of his past 4 starts. Two back was the one he missed when he did plenty of work throughout, so you can put a line for it through that run. But his 3 seconds were behind Fun Together, who's going to be going for 4 in a row later on this afternoon in the Class 3 event. Athleticism. I can't even pronounce that right, I tell you. And did. Look, I love that he's got the inside draw this afternoon and Zach Purton taking the ride, and hopefully he's going to break that bridesmaid tag this afternoon. I just think he gets an economical run throughout and is going to be mighty hard to beat. One of my selections, number 13, Can't Go Wong. Now, you got to hear me out here. His last 3 runs, he's read 5th, 10th, and 5th in the form guide. But he was wide without cover over 1,800 metres on the all-weather 3 back when he was 5th, before dropping back to 1,650 on the all-weather, and he just didn't respond well. Last start, he got back onto the turf. He got the blinkers first time over 1,400 metres, where one of his 2 wins of his career have been over. And he met backsides up the straight from about the 300-metre mark to the 150. And then he managed to pick himself up nicely and finished 3 lengths off Dream Pursuer and only 2.25 lengths off Golden Rise, who has since won. Look, he's drawn poorly, so he's going to go back, but he's going to be flying late. And I tell you what, he's not the worst bet at 51. He was $51 this morning here in Australia. And I honestly think with the blinkers on, back onto the turf, and I think if he can get a nice run throughout at the back of the field, he could be flying late. So let's just hope the track's playing nice and fair and he'll be coming late. And the other selection I like is number 11, Smart Fighter. Look, he gets the map here. Even though he's drawn barrier 11, he'll go forward like he did last start. He's going to map well. There's not a lot of pace here. I think he can just pick off some cheap sectionals. Look, he was 4th last start behind Endeared and Celtic Times. I think that he can go one better and finish in the top 3 instead of 4th. And the one that I had him for 4th was Perfetto. Just an honourable mention for it, getting the cheek pieces on for the first time. The only other runner that I could throw any support behind would be Happy Daily, but he missed out on the top 4. But I think this is Celtic Times, Race to Lose, number 5 as my banker, and then my selections for placings, number 13, Can't Go Wong, and number 11, Smart Fighter.
Yeah, Joshua, your banker number 5 static time is really interesting. I think Gates number 1 is very ideal for him. So he can choose to stay in the front or in the midfield or at the back. And the horse running tactic in this season is quite dynamic. So the draw is really good for him. So maybe just let Zach Purton decide how to put which position to put in this horse. But I think recent form also supports him to run well because last time when he was ridden by Hugh Bowman, he was just beaten by less than 1 length behind the winner. So I think still quite good for him, and also keep racing over 1,400 meters on the turf today in the afternoon. Really good chance for him because he has a really good draw. Gates number 1, and I think for the other runners here, Can't Go Wrong, one of your selections. The price now is $25. chances for the win. And I think there's a good outsider because last time there were some excuses for him. He did not have a really clear one in the home stretch, so just beaten by 3 lengths over the same course and distance. So still a good horse to pick. And other runners I think interesting in this field, maybe the class dropper. Number 1, Amazing Run. And it is really good to see the female jockey, Jamie Carr, is going to ride at Sha Tin today. She has lots of race fans in Hong Kong, so can't wait to see her today at Sha Tin. So one of her mounts will be Amazing Run in this race. So as a class dropper, the horse has some good results in class 3 before in December. So I think this time, first time racing in class 4, maybe the horse is quite competitive here because the horse was having quite good form before coming to Hong Kong in Australia. So maybe he will find himself quite competitive in class 4, especially with a great jockey on board. So Amazing Run is quite interesting to race in a class 4 company. So Nathan, what do you think race number 4?
Yeah, another very intriguing race on the program over the 1400. I think it's a really nice race. I've landed with Celtic Times as well. I just think I defaulted to him really. It's just the map. I think everything works out so well from gate 1. He gets the jump, hold a position up on speed, maybe just 1 back, 2 pairs back at the worst. And when the race goes on, I'd expect him to be right there in the finish. His form says he will be as well. As already alluded to, aestheticism form, fun together form. Those horses are going really well and progressed up in grade. And endeared last start. I thought he was good that day too. Just ran into a smart one with a nice ride by, ironically, Zach Purton. So he jumps on this time, gets gate 1, should get a lovely run in transit. And from there, I'd expect him to be in the finish. $3, maybe a shade short for a horse that's yet to win in Hong Kong, but he's been right amongst the numbers a few times now. So I'd imagine he'll be finishing off close to best. The one I chucked in for second was number 3, Happy Daily. Everything you said, Reedy, I think back in grade. His last start run was pretty good behind Global Harmony. That horse didn't frank the form last start, but he had excuses. He didn't really jump from the gate, so ignore that run. And I think that's the right form for a race like this. Prior to that, he was okay behind Galaxy Patch. He was a big price. And I just think when you get a horse that's really consistent up in grade and he comes back into a more suitable class, I think you've got to be considering them a chance. Look, he's 39 starts for 3 wins, so he's well exposed now. But I do think he hasn't been back in class 4 for a very long time. He's been so consistent in class 3, but he finally gets his chance to take a sit back in grade. Hugh Bowman takes the reins as well from gate 12. He'll just jump. He'll lob back somewhere back half of the field and with some cover. And I think he could be the one that's bounding home late. One other one I'll just give a sprue to was number 11, Smart Fighter. Not sure where he lands on the map. I get where he's coming from in terms of going forward. Hopefully he can get to the front and sort of find a nice kick, and I think he'll be right there in the finish. I just kept looking at his first up run behind Noble Pursuit, and I kept thinking to myself, if he runs to that, he's got to be considered maybe even the one to beat if he can recapture that sort of form. He's 6 starts without a win, but he's very, very close to recapturing it. Love the case you've made for Can't Go Wong there, both of you, really. I couldn't find him, but I get where you're coming from, and you've convinced me that he might have to go into a few multiples because I agree. Look, his last start, he was a bit luckless, and he draws 14, but he'll get back, and he could be one screaming down the middle of the course as well. So very interesting race, that race number 4. But all in all things even, I just had to be with Celtic Times, and hopefully for followers, he can break his Hong Kong maiden.
Yeah, right. Really interesting class 4. So in race number 4, so let me recap for Georgia. The banker will be number 5, Celtic Times, with selections number 13, Can't Go Wrong, and number 11, Smart Fighter. And now let's talk about race number 6. Nathan, please.
Yeah, we go to race number 6 on the program. It's a class 4 over 1,200 meters. Really interesting race. And I know a lot of punters will be coming for Telecom Dragon, and I think fair enough too, rightly so. But I thought this was a really deep race. I thought there was a lot of good chances here. And I've gone a bit of an outside chance at a bit of odds here, around 14-1 on the Jockey Club website. And that's number 9 at the Khan. Now, he's making his debut for the Casper Founds Barn. Karis Teeton takes the reins. Awkward gate here in gate 11, but I really love the way this son of acclamation hit the line in his barrier trial behind Heyday last time out on January 9. I thought it was a really impressive piece of work. He went down the Sha Tin straight. Now, he missed the start. We sort of half missed the start on that occasion. And I didn't think he was going to let down at all, but he sort of asked for a little bit of an effort, and he travelled really nicely on the inside running rail for Karis Teton on that occasion. He's taken him in 2 trials as Karis, one that day, and he also took him at Chongfa as well over 1,000 metres in his first jump out, which I thought was absolutely outstanding. Both occasions, he was just asked for a little niggle, and I love the way he attacked the line. I thought it was a really impressive piece of work. Again, he draws a gate 11, but I expect him to go back, just sort of probably back half of the field, a little bit of cover. And I think he might be flying over the top late here. I've just got a feeling about him. You're getting a nice price to find out as well at around the $14 and $5 on the place line. I'll have him on top, not with a stack of confidence, but in a race where there's a lot of chances, I just think I wanted to find one at a bit of odds. And this guy on debut, I think you could do a lot worse than him. I think he could be a nice type on the rise. We'll see where he lands in this race, and we'll get a better guide on him, obviously, post-race. But at the price, I'll take the risk with the Khan. I made him a value runner on the each way basis, one of the better bets on the program at a price for me anyway. In for the selections, I could have gone with a few here. I've ended up landing with number 2, Super Legends, in for second here. Love that Angus Chung jumps back on board here after Zach Purton took them out last time. He jumped at $1.60 last start. He just got absolutely crunched in the market. The Absolute just beat him on the line. Massive margin back to third, where California Totality ran into the minor money as well. That horse, I think, strengthened the form pretty well. That horse is ready to win in a future start. Not sure when, but he's got to get to the 1600 in my opinion. And I thought this guy was really good last start, Super Legends, over the 1400. Don't mind him stepping back to 1200 meters. You go back through his form. He was beaten. Won on debut over 1,200 metres, beat Kaholo Angel, beat him at a price as well. And then he was beaten by Kaholo Angel. That horse turned the tables with a bit of a weight swing in that race where he had Super Legends had to lug the 61. So a little bit of weight relief with Angus Chung on board, I think, is a key factor. Gets a good run from gate 6. Don't mind him back at 1,200 metres. And I think he'll run a bold race. He can get around $6, $5.50 at the moment. I think that's a fair price as well. Could definitely humour backing both of them. And then in for third, as my other selection, I went with Patch of Theta. I think this horse is ready to do something as well. I thought he was okay last start. It was a little bit wide. He had cover at stages behind Hong Kong Hall, but I don't think he got the perfect run by any stretch of the imagination. I thought he was raced very greenly, first and second up, and I think he will only improve heading into his third up run. I think he's a very talented type that is yet to break his maiden, but I think he could be a nice chance at a decent price as well. Keegan Namello gets the mount this time from gate 10. I think there's another one to be flying home late. I get it with Telecom Dragon. I think he's got to be the starting point in the race. There's no doubt about that. He was only beaten 2 3/4 lengths by Storm Rider. That horse has franked the form. And then you got Ka-Ying Rising as well, who has been right amongst the photo finishes with a very nice type in the form of Wonderbar. So he's to tie this horse into elite form, and he's going well as well. And the fact he's won prior as well is a big bonus for him. I will say you can tie him into Super Legends as well. These two are right near each other at the start of the campaign, and Super Legends actually beat him home. And they, interesting enough, they're pretty similar in the weights from that run, so easy to tie them into each other as well. So very interesting race, this one. Just landed with the Khan at a bit of a price, and I will say if there's one horse that wins this race, I'll be a little bit upset about. That's Ruby Sailing. Had it a gut full of him. I've dipped him, I think, every start in Hong Kong. So if he wins this race, I might have a few tears in my eyes. But look, the Khan for me, a little bit of value. The only first starter in this race. I think he might have a little bit of upside. Super Legends and also Patch of Theta are the two that go into the play. But a really interesting race, I thought, race number 6 on the card.
Yeah, right. Sounds cool. Don't worry, Nathan. I'm also having number 9, the Khan as my banker. I think this debutant is really interesting. As a 4-year-old son of Acclamation out of a Street Cry mare, the Acclamation and Street Cry pedigree is the same as the Romantic Warrior. So hopefully this horse can also have some good performance, good results in Hong Kong. And yes, the most recent barrier trial is the best one because he was having the hood. So this time he's also having this gear when making his debut in Hong Kong. So gate number 11, I'm not that worried about that because as a back marker, he can stay in the midfield. So the wide draw may be a better for him to make his debut here. So at $14 for the win and 5.1 for the place, I think there is a really good each way chance for this debutant. So I will also be cheering for this horse in the afternoon. So and other runners here, maybe number 2 Super Legends is quite interesting to have Angus Chung on board. Taking out 5 pounds is really ideal for him. So he's still an up and coming horse. And for the other one, number 1, Fast Buck. That will be ridden by Zach Burton in top weight. He just had a good victory last time out over the all-weather track. The horse was breaking from gate number 12, and he has a good gate speed to stay in front and won by around 3 lengths, a big margin, so quite an easy victory for him. And this time moving to the turf track, I think gate 2 is ideal for him. So hopefully the good draw he can make use of the good draw to run well, and especially under Zach Burton, the price now is still $13 for the win. So I think quite a good, quite attractive price for the last time winner Fastback, and he can also handle the turf track well. So race 6 is quite a good race. And Joshua, what do you think? Who do you like in race number 6?
Look, I'm happy to wear egg on my face here. Neither of you have mentioned Telecom Dragon in your top 3. I have him on top, and I couldn't make a case for the Khan even if I tried. I didn't like that trial whatsoever. But in saying that, as I said, this is Hong Kong racing, and we've all got our opinions. I'm interested to see how the Khan debuts for you both. But Telecom Dragon, for me, very consistent in all 4 starts this season. As Nathan alluded to, his runs behind Ka Ying Rising and Storm Rider were absolutely tremendous form for this. Especially against this sort of field. I think he's drawn okay. Bowman Sticks, I think he'll be flashing late. You did mention that tie-in, Nath, between Telecom Dragon and Super Legends, and there's not much in the weight from that day. Telecom Dragon should have won that originally against Super Legends on that race. So it'll be interesting to see how it all turns out, especially with Angus Chung aboard on Super Legends. I thought it ran well last start when the blinkers were applied. They really rode it hard to lead and just couldn't hold on, going down 3/4 of a length in second. But they beat on the rest of the field by 5 lengths. So, as I said, the Angus Chung 2.5 kilo weight relief, he should run well in what looks like a weakish field. I do agree with Shireen with Fast Buck. I think it's a nice little value up the top there. I have it in for 4th. I had Champion Instinct in for 3rd. So it'll be interesting to see whether I'm going to be cooking my eggs boiled or scrambled on my face later, or whether I can just feed it to Nathan. But Telecom Dragon for me for race 6.
Yeah, right. So let me recap it for Nathan in race number 6. Nathan's going to have the banker with number 9, the Khan, and selections number 2, Super Legends, and number 7, Patch of Peter. So after talking about these 3 races that, as we just mentioned earlier in the live, that one of the feature race, the highlight for the day is going to be race number 8. It is going to be the Centenary Sprint Cup over 1,200 meters. And this Group 1 is also the first leg of the Hong Kong Speed Series. So we will see so many top sprinters in Hong Kong to be racing in this afternoon. So maybe let me ask Nathan first. Nathan, who is your favorite in race number 8?
I'll start with Sunny Side Up, please, Reddy. Appreciate it. In this one, though, for me, look, you got to start with Lucky Sweynesse. He's the starting point, isn't he? He just, the way he's traveling, I thought that win in the Hong Kong Sprint was very, very impressive. Trial sense was good down the straight where Matthew Poon got a feel for him. He would have been pretty happy with that. Just to get a sit on Lucky Sweynesse. Look, he goes on top, unbackable at the price. Happy to watch him go around at the quote. Based on how he's traveling, though, you'd imagine he's got to be the one to beat. I thought Lucky With You and also Wellington were both very good, obviously, as well in the same race. Lucky With You sort of come out of nowhere, really. Started the campaign with a win, and he's been very consistent since. The horse that I'm going to make a case for as probably a bet on the place line is actually number 10 here, Packing Treadmill. Jamie Carr, she had this horse booked a long way out to head over to Hong Kong, and I think this horse is going really well. Only beaten 3 lengths down the straight at Sha Tin over the 1,000 meters. I'm happy to forgive that run. And then the start prior to that ran to Ping Hai Galaxy on the all-weather circuit. So put a pen through those 2 runs. Go back to the 3rd up run behind Helios Express. He jumped, he went forward, and he was only beaten by 0.3 of a length. He had to lug top weight on that occasion in Class 2 company. drops 4 kilos for that effort. And I thought it was a really impressive effort that day. I mean, Helios Express, I think a lot of people have earmarked as the favourite for the Classic Mile in a couple of weeks' time. So easy to tie that into pretty elite form. And then prior to that was beaten convincingly by Lucky With You, but on a race day where he jumped and wasn't able to actually dictate and run his race the way he would have wanted. So from gate 2 this time, I think he can jump, hold a position, and I think in Ausbooks they've opened up 41 and $6 on a place line. $6 the place for me seems like a really nice bet outside of the favourite. If you didn't want to obviously back Lucky Sweynesse at the price, which I don't want to, happy to take $6 for Packing Treadmill. 19 starts for 7 wins and 8 minor placings, so rarely misses out on the minor money, and it's just so consistent. And look, the son of Manhattan Rain, he's going well enough for mine. He has never tackled Group 1 company, but they give him their chance here. And Jamie Carl, as I said, getting the ride a long way out. Seems like there's been some intent to get this guy to be peaking on the day. So I just think one at a bit of price that I wanted to sort of steer people into was Packing Treadmill. He's probably why I'm going to play the race in terms of a bet. I'll probably take him on the place line in a race like this. But yeah, Victor the winner, he's an interesting one as well. Can he recapture his best form? If he can, he's got to be a winning chance. From gate 10, you'd imagine he'll jump, go straight to the front, and he'll take some beating. But look, Lucky Sweynesse on top. And I think the danger and the one that I'll play at a price is Packing Treadmill. But look, I just think all things even, tough to be against the best sprinter or the highest rated sprinter in the world.
Yeah, right. Lucky Sweynesse is the best sprinter in Hong Kong, and now still ridden by Zach Burton. And I think he has a really good chance in the Centenary Sprint Cup in the afternoon today. But Joshua, what do you think? Who's your favorite in this Group 1?
Yeah, preach the choir. Best horse in this race, number 1, Lucky Sweynesse. Zach Burton was very confident leading into that Hong Kong sprint, saluted nicely, beating a stronger field than this by 3/4 of a length. It's interesting to note that he actually had blood in his trachea post-race, which is a big enough excuse had he lost, but he didn't. I think easier field, the same weights. He should be winning this. It's interesting, Zach, during the week, actually saying that he reckons a handful of these shouldn't even be in this race, and they could cause a bit of havoc for runners in behind. So I think his draw, barrier 5, he can get into a nice spot. He'll be looking to stay off that rail, no doubt, because I think he'll have some runners falling into his lap otherwise. And the only other one that really caught my eye, look, I'm Wellington's biggest fan, but I'm not going with him. I don't think he's if he wins, I'll be like Nathan in the earlier race. I'll be crying. But Lucky With You for me in for second. Career best run in the Hong Kong sprint, smashing the line for second. Has drawn a little worse, and as I said, may find some of those slow runners falling into his lap, but with clear air, he should be thereabouts. So I am expecting Lucky With You to follow either Wellington or Lucky Sweynesse wherever they go and find that clear air up the outside, because I don't think coming up the inside is going to be the way to go this afternoon. So Lucky Sweynesse for me, number 1, followed by Lucky With You, number 5, and then Wellington in for 3rd, and Taj Dragon, the up-and-comer, in for 4th.
Yeah, so this Group 1 is quite interesting. I'm also having number 1 Lucky Sweynesse in my top 8, because I think in the Group 1 races, all the horses, all the runners will be carrying the same weight. So at this given that it's condition, so I think Lucky Sweynesse is the one who is having the best ability over the sprint. And also last time his victory in the Hong Kong sprints was really impressive. So this time, good draw again, the same draw as last time, gates number 5. So he can stay in the best position. So hope to see that the current best sprinter in Hong Kong to run another good Group 1 in the afternoon. And yeah, for Lucky With You, I think this horse was really, really interesting in this season after joining the Frankie Law stable. And last time he is at quite a low weighting to run in the Hong Kong sprint, but he surprised us to run second behind Lucky Sweynesse, so beaten by less than 1 length, and he finished before Wellington in the finishing line. So that's really impressive. So Lucky With You, he is just a 6-year-old, another Group 1 race for him. So I think he is able to run well again. He keeps his form recently, looking really good in the morning track work. So Lucky With You is also be one of my selections. And also number 10, Packing Treadmill, good draw and good jockey on board. Nathan just mentioned a lot of advantages of this horse. Just a 5-year-old and first time racing in a Group 1 company. I'm expecting him to run well because this course and distance is one of his best trip. So hopefully Peking Treadmill can also show some improvement. And also number 2 Wellington still ran well, ran not bad in the recent 2-1s in the season. So he will be one of my selections as well. And the one outsider that I would like to have a quick mention here would be number 4 Courier Wonder, because he is going to make his seasonal debut in this Group 1. And as a 6-year-old, I think this son of Sacred Force will still be quite competitive. And to be honest, his performance last season when he was still trained by John Size was a bit disappointed, but at the end of season he was carrying the top weights to run in the Class 1, and he just went third, and I think not really bad, but in this season maybe he had just had an enough rest, so returning to the track after a long spell, the draw not really ideal, to be honest, Gates number 12, but I think the price is quite attractive because his performance at the end of last season, so just made me think of that he is able to bounce back. So number 4 Courier Wonder, I will also have a small each way bet on him, but I will be also cheering for number 1 Lucky Swingness, of course, in the Centenary Sprint Cup. Hopefully this good sprinter can win and back-to-back Group 1 win. So that's all for our preview for today's Hong Kong meeting. So hopefully you will enjoy it, and thank you for watching our live at the very morning in Hong Kong time. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully we will find you some winner, and next time we will see you in a midweek for the Happy Valley preview. See you next time. Enjoy your day. Good luck. Bye bye.